Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Barry Carl joining us here once again. Always a pleasure to have him. He's a man with many skills and backgrounds, and he's here to help you in so many different ways. Core energetics, somatic sex education, amongst just some of them. I'll have Barry do the introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Well, once again, my name is Barry Carl. Yes, I have two first names. I know, it's a pain in the butt. People, even when I go to the DMV, are you sure that's your name?
I know,
Anyway,
right?
that is my name, Barry Carl, two first names. I answer to Carl Barry as well if you get it mixed up. I am a sexological body worker. I am a core energetics therapist. I'm a couples counselor, and just generally a helper. I am a helper. I want to help you. Uh, and you can get a hold of me either through my page on heal.me.
Mm-hmm.
Just type in my name, Barry Carl. Or you can text or call me at 917-863-1950. I make myself easy to contact because I want you to contact me.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here. And
I'm
how
very
can we
happy to be
reach
here,
out
Jill.
to you? Could you share a little bit about your phone number or the website where we can find you?
Well, as I just said, heal.me is a website for alternative healing professionals where you can see ratings and reviews, book time, book a free phone call, which I offer to everybody. I want you to know me and I want to know a little bit about you. And that's probably the best place where you can get information about me and what I do. I'll also be sharing these wonderful podcasts on that site as well as a few of the other places where you will see my name. I'm certified and accredited member of the Association of Certified Sexological Body Workers, and they have a website, which I'm also on. There's another one called Trusted Body Work, where you can find me. And there are probably a couple others, but I'm drawing a blank right now.
That's okay. That's okay. Another day, of course, another great
Another day, another time.
conversation. Let's
Yeah.
talk about some of the benefits of the work you do. What in particular did you want to share with us today?
Well, what I want to share today is some of the guiding principles that I work by. Talk a little bit about my own work ethic and some of the principles that I employ because they're directly applicable. I mean, this might sound kind of heady, but like everything else I do, it's based in the body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How does that sound to you, Jill?
Sounds great to me. Of course, it's all based in the body. I got it. I got it.
Right, right. Well, the truth, as Alexander Lowen, one of the creators of bioenergetics and hence core energetics, said in numerous books that he's written, the truth is in the body. The truth is always in the body. You can't fool the body. As Bessel van der Kolk says, the body keeps the score. Your body's not going to lie.
True.
Your mind, well, the mind does all kinds of things.
Yeah.
But the body is the homing beacon. That's what we're always coming home to. Our home is in the body. So with that in mind, one of my favorite lines in all of this work, and I use it a lot, and I find it to be true. It's one of those rare occasions when I'll use the word always. It's always true. And that line, it's a very simple line. There's always more. There's always more. And in the field of um, of sexuality, of the erotic, this is as true and maybe more true than a lot of people realize. It doesn't matter at what point in your own development you come into the work. One thing I can say with uh, some assuredness is that there's more waiting for you.
Yeah.
It's how we're designed. Uh, the field of erotic expression and activity is vast. It's vast. It's like a huge sandbox. It's one of the places where we as human beings uh, really get to play.
Yeah.
And we get to play it in our joy.
Mm-hmm.
And the body, your body, is capable of way more than you think it is. That's not true for everybody.
Uh-huh.
It's true for most everybody, though. Uh, my my clientele, I work with women from uh, 30 to the oldest client I've worked with was
90
93.
something. You told me about
93,
her. Yes.
right. And not only is there always more to be had in your expansion, in your experience, in your fulfillment, in your pleasure, there's not only always more, but this message is especially for women in their mid 40s to mid 60s.
Mm-hmm.
It's never too late.
Yeah.
It's never too late to expand your erotic horizons, to expand your pleasure, to be in deeper contact with your own body. What I find has happened to a lot of women in our culture is they've done all the things that society tells them they should do in order
Mm-hmm.
to be happy and fulfilled. Many women choose to have families, uh, and we don't really calculate what that costs, and we're not in the habit of honoring women for the enormous, uh, the miraculous sacrifice
Yeah.
that they make in order to create life. Uh, it's really hard on the body,
Yeah.
and very often the body gets stressed and pushed and pulled, and women lose contact with their erotic self. They
True.
lose contact with their vulvas. They lose contact with their own body.
Yeah.
It's a very complex relationship. And what happens in that process is a lot of women give up. They give up their juiciness.
Yeah.
They give up their their vitality, their creative energy, their life energy, um, and become depressed.
Yeah.
We in this society we write more prescriptions for antidepressants for women than and in that age group than any other age group. And one of the wonderful things about your body is that when you use it, when you're turned on, your body creates the chemicals that you need to stay healthy and happy. When you drop that, if you don't have a solo practice,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have a partner, if you don't have I don't care, friends with benefits, if you
Yeah.
don't have some way,
Someone or some. Yep.
someone or some way or someone's, I'm not
Yeah.
judging here. uh it really is a use it or lose it proposition.
Mm-hmm.
If you're worried about drying up, as so many women are, the way to turn that around is to find a way back to your body.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of my primary offerings to help you come back into relationship with your body.
Yeah.
So that you can live a juicier, happier, more fulfilled life.
Yeah.
This stuff isn't, I wouldn't relegate it to something extra, something, that's like fanciful or unnecessary. This is a need. We may not always acknowledge it as such, but it is.
Yeah.
It's a need, and maybe you sitting and listening here can feel a resonance with that in your body. Yeah, yeah. I want that. I think that'd be great for me. I need that. Well, it's true. It's true. Um, I also wanted to talk a little bit about a concept that I've been developing around this, which is what are the actions of love? What does that constitute? I believe in love
Yeah.
uh, in all of its forms, whether it's romantic, platonic,
Mm.
uh, parent, child, child, child. Love is a really, really potent force
Yeah.
in our lives. And I was asking myself, what do we do when we love somebody? What are the actual actions of love? How can I um, oops,
It's okay.
how can I show somebody that I love them? How can I demonstrate love? How can love be a verb
Yeah.
instead of a noun? What do we do? And I came up with several principles of action. Um, the first, and this is kind of a common phrase in psychobabble, uh, unconditional positive regard. And we tend to see a loved one, especially in a new relationship, through those proverbial rose-colored glasses.
Yeah. Always.
Right. There's a chemical reason for that. Our body is very, very busy producing hormones and chemicals that make us see the person's best qualities and
Yeah.
minimize the ones that maybe we don't like so much.
Mm-hmm.
We the chemical set that is produced in that state, I call it the eros state, uh, also helps us move beyond our limitations, at least temporarily. We become more of ourselves.
Yeah.
We extend ourselves more. We tend to ignore uh, the risk that comes along with emotionally investing in another person. Uh, that comes back to haunt us later
Mm-hmm.
when that chemical set, which can't go on indefinitely, just sort of dovetails into something that's more associated with comfort. Uh, but that's kind of a boring chemical equation that I don't want to
No, it's
stop the conversation with right now. But these uh, these qualities, starting with unconditional positive regard, are what we actually do,
yeah.
and we can do this for others
Mm-hmm.
from a full heart. We can love people into their best versions of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that anyone in this world ever healed without love of some kind. Uh, and this is a component, I think, in any good therapeutic relationship as well. Um, One of my early teachers told me, he said, if I don't have heart for someone, I can't work with them.
Yeah.
So once again, the question: what do we do? What are the actions associated with this?
Mm-hmm.
So another one is what I like to call radical kindness.
Yeah.
it's not hard to be kind. Uh, it's hard to be consciously kind. It's something that we need to practice. And when we do that, when we extend ourselves to others through kindness, through the heart, we feel better. So do they. And it's not a hard thing to do, but it does take some practice. A third principle I call erotic generosity. And I coined this a couple of years ago, and I'm very pleased to see that the phrase is finding its way into usage in my community. And this, dear people, is a big deal. It's a big deal. It's kind of an encapsulation of what are you willing to do for another.
Yeah.
Um, it's rare in this life, I think, that we we get filled really with whatever it is that we need. Um, our culture, our consumer culture, tries tries to fill us up just enough so that we're always hungry for more.
Yeah.
You know, and the promise of that culture is that next thing you get is what's going to make you happy. You know, it's like, well, you got last year's car and it's got a scratch in it. If you get a brand new one with no scratches, you're going to be happier.
Uh-huh.
Well, and you might be for a couple of minutes. Uh, the shiny new relationship, the shiny new thing. Um, yeah, you know, that's all holding out the promise, but what actually delivers? There is nothing in this world that is a substitute for getting what you really, really need
Yeah.
and want. We get told by our culture, well, yeah, you don't really need that. You don't really need love. You don't need touch. You don't need happiness. What you need is a 75-inch 8K TV.
Yeah.
Uh, and you get it and you watch it, and you know you're still sitting on the couch watching football, but the screen's bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And after a little while, it wears off. What doesn't wear off, what is always new and always exciting and always gratifying, is satisfying the deeper urges and itches that you have. What's satisfying is being filled up
Yeah.
with good stuff. You know, when we talk about the erotic, a woman I work with, I occasionally do retreats with, a very gifted woman named Pamela Madsen, who runs a company called Back to the Body. She talks about people having pleasure plans. It, pleasure doesn't happen accidentally. And if you're willing to take time out of your life to plan for it, chances are you'll get more, you'll
Yeah.
get better.
Yeah.
It's part of it's the willingness to plan. Part of it's the willingness to set aside time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a hard sell
Yeah.
sometimes for people. Uh, I worked with a client over the last year who came from uh, a very kind of strict family, and the spoken and unspoken ethic of that family was that pleasure is an indulgence.
Mm-hmm.
Pleasure is a weakness. Pleasure is not necessary in this life. Um, and there are a lot of variations on that people come up with, and they're what it results in is a long laundry list of all the reasons why one should not feel pleasure.
Mhm.
Um, there is not one single reason on any one of those lists that's worth a hill of beans. This is all you got, this life. And uh, we're designed for pleasure. Our bodies are designed for pleasure. Our bodies are designed for more.
Yeah.
If we did not have that capacity, I, we wouldn't be built the way we are.
Yeah.
Uh, so to live full on, to live what my friend Pamela calls a turned on life, we need to actually plan for pleasure the way we plan meals or family vacations or a night out or a party for somebody. You know, there are all these things that, well, yeah, I'm willing to put money into that. I've hired a business coach and I'm making a business plan and I have all the steps and calls to action and everything else.
Yeah.
And this is how I'm going to build my business.
Yeah.
Um, so you see people succeeding not by accident. They don't just fall into it.
Yeah.
They've really worked it out. And I think the people who are getting the most pleasure out of their lives do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They make plans. And that may be, I don't know if that's a controversial idea for you, if that's a new idea, that you actually plan it, that it's not something that,
Spontaneous or
maybe happens, when the lights go out and we have our, 5 minutes of intimacy and we're good. Um, a lot of people do that.
yeah.
And it's kind of, well, it's iffy and maybe it'll happen and maybe it won't. And if it doesn't, well, so what? Uh, that's a really hard way to live. It's a really hard way to live, especially when you consider all of the faculties that we have at our disposal, living in these fantastically complex. Well, Ram Dass called them space suits.
Yeah.
These bodies that we're gifted with for this lifetime. Um, and in order to make the most out of those opportunities, I also came up with three very simple, I'll call them rules. I don't know if that's the right word, but
Okay.
the guiding principles is maybe better because
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of rules.
Are any of
Okay.
us? But yeah, I know what you mean.
Rules?
What?
What? So these three simple rules, and I'll explain them, are simple. Want what you want, like what you like, and have what you have.
Mm-hmm.
If you can do that consciously, you will get a lot more out of your existence, and you'll get more pleasure out of pleasure too. Uh, Wanting what you want means letting yourself have your desires, have your likes, have your fantasies
Yeah.
without judging them. We're so quick. We're so quick to control ourselves. We're so quick to cut ourselves off. We're so quick to judge ourselves. Oh, I think I might like that, but I don't know if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if my friends will judge me if I
Yeah.
tell anybody about what I really like. I mean, what if I like ABBA, the or disco.
Yeah.
Mm. It's like, who do you tell?
Mm-hmm.
But this is I'm just
No, I know what you mean.
being silly. But we don't have any audience to laugh, so
I'm laughing and they're
Oh, you are?
laughing.
Okay. Oh,
ABBA, the
okay, great.
dancing queen. That went right in my head. Are you kidding? I know ABBA.
Okay, so the second guiding principle is like what you like.
Mm-hmm.
Let yourself like what you like.
Yeah.
I know that sounds moronically simple, but is it? How many of the things in your life, how many more things would you have in your life if you honestly let yourself like what you like? Now, there are some things that you can like all you want, um, but you may not be able to have or you may not be able to do. Uh, but that doesn't mean that you can't like them. Just be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
That's basically what that means. Be honest with yourself. You don't have to be honest with anybody else. You don't even have to tell anybody, but at least be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And the third uh, operating principle is have what you have. In other words, really let yourself enjoy what you do have. We were talking earlier about a car. Okay, it's a year old and it has a scratch in it. It's the same car. You liked it when you bought it. You liked it before it had a scratch. Not much has changed. You can still like your car.
Yeah.
You can still be happy with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm using car because
Yeah, no, I get it.
there are, it gets so much tougher with people. How many people spend a lot of time being dissatisfied or not liking their partner?
Yeah.
If only you were dot dot dot. If
Yeah.
only you were better at dot dot dot. If only
Mm-hmm.
you had um, a nicer wardrobe, or go on and on and on. We create situations where the qualifications that we put on people in situations leave us perpetually unsatisfied. And
Yeah.
we never get to have what we have. Most
Yeah.
of us work so hard
Mm-hmm.
to have what we have, but then it's not enough. The house isn't big enough. It's not in the right neighborhood. The cars are too old. The kids are too loud. The dog smells funny. We make all kinds of reasons to not really embrace our lives and ourselves and what we have.
Absolutely. And we'll end it on that. We got a minute left, Barry. Carl, tell us, how we can reach out to you and your last closing thoughts.
My last closing thought is give me a call.
And the number is?
917-863-1950.
Perfect. And reach out on the website called Heal.
Heal.me,
Mm-hmm.
or you can email me because my email is really easy to remember. It's my name, Barry Carl, BARRYCARL, all small case, no spaces, @gmail.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Pleasure having you here as always. Thank you for the great convo, and give Barry a call. Have a great day. And yeah, hopefully this rain will get out of here soon, right? We're in the New York area. So boy, oh boy, 4 days of rain. It's getting better.
It's getting better. Tomorrow through like middle of next week is supposed to be beautiful.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so
All right.
get the
Thank
bike
you.
out and go for a ride.
Yes. Have a great day. Thank you. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.